So I bought another car. Now don't worry for those people who love the Mazda 323, it's not gone yet. This I only bought now because the opportunity came up and it was the right time to do it. So I bought it at a really good price, which we'll get into soon. But I'm not registering it for another 9 months. Simple thing is, I can't afford to. I'm still a uni student, I make nothing off this YouTube channel at all, and I do DoorDash full time. Not exactly the highest paying job. But at the end of the day, I enjoy it. I like cars like this, and the reality is they just are slowly creeping up in value. And finding an example like this is getting harder. Even though this isn't the cleanest, as we'll see, it's a manual Fairmont in white, and that's about all I really cared about. Now, where I am, in Victoria, Melbourne, you have to pay rego for each car, and insurance is not optional. So, once you factor in rego, insurance, I have 2 cars already, the WRX, which you'll be seeing soon, and the 323. They're both on full rego, plus insurance, plus just ownership cost. I don't really want a third car. Also, the WRX isn't even parked on my house because I don't have a garage for it, so it stays at under a car mat at a mate's place. So to have 3 cars, 2 in which that aren't even at my house, is just unrealistic at this point in my life. And I'm totally fine with that. I'm 20 years old, got the life ahead of me, but these cars, they're not being made like this anymore. This one is an inline 6 4-litre. For you guys that aren't from Australia, this is an Australian made engine. It's a single cam, 12 valve engine, obviously 4 litres inline 6, and that's connected to a 5-speed gearbox known as the T5. Also, this thing is massive. This is a Ford Fairmont, 1992. Rear wheel drive with a factory LSD. It's pretty fun to drive, but it's also 1,500 kilos. So you might be wondering, where did I find this car for the price that's so good? There's a bit of a story behind this car. Apparently at my mate's house. That's who I bought it off. He's the guy that owns the red EK Civic that you might have seen on my channel and is featured in all my YouTube shorts on the motorbicycle. He bought this thing back in September. As of time of recording, it's mid-February. He paid $4,200 and we had an original agreement that I would pay $1,000 more than he paid after a year time because I wanted this car and he's building a Fairmont gear with a Barra in it. So it kind of worked out for both of us. I wanted a car in a year, he wanted to sell the car in a year for the better version of this. So I was like, yeah, done, I'll give you $1,000 more because you'll get on the road. One thing leads to another, it just doesn't work out, these double ownership situations. And now it's 4 months later, he's got no purpose to the car, he's grinding out his other one. So I said, you know what? Give it to me for $4,000 with a roadworthy, which is something you need here in Australia to transfer ownership, and I'll buy the car off you. That was the original plan. Again, things changed. I just paid $3,200 cash, got a bit of goodies with it, which I'll show you. And here we are now. I got a Fairmont for $3,200. So like I said, I wanted this in a year. Not this exact car, I had a few cars in mind. I originally had this like little fetish for VT Calais on LPG gas as well, because for some reason fuel's just expensive as shit in Australia. Even though we make it down the street, we get charged $2 for unleaded. So I was thinking gas for 60 cents sounds pretty good to me. But every VT Calais is automatic. And technically these Fairmonts, which is the challenger to a Calais, were also automatics only. But this one luckily has been converted. I've only ever owned economy cars. I've had 2 323s, a Golf diesel and a Jetta diesel. So, and then the WRX is basically a hotted up economy car because it's basically an Impreza. So I've really been wanting to try out in an Aussie car. I live in Australia, we make our own these cars locally, well 30 years ago we did anyway. And I've always wanted to just get into something a bit bigger and explore this difference in cars that we have because they're right here and I've never even touched them before. So yes, I was looking at things like Honda luxury cars because I kind of want a luxury car. So I was looking at a Honda Legend or maybe an Integra or Prelude. But realistically, you're paying 10 grand for, I don't think is much better of a car. And for 3 grand, I think you're getting a lot of bank out of this. Right, so I've nailed it down to I want an EB. Now these EBs, they were an EA series, an EB series, and an ED series. That was the E series of this car. The EAs had a cross-flow injection, single system injector. It just sucked. It was one injector over 6 cylinders. It was basically like carbureted, and they were low on power. It was the same inline 6 4-litre, but it was shit. This is this EB Series 2. Another thing, I wanted white. I love Australian cars in white. I think they look tough as all shit. White was my only option. Another thing, other than white, every other car just gets caked in Australian sun. We get it bad here. So if you have like a green EB or even any other color one for that matter, you'll notice clear coat's peeling. It's just munted. It's not really appealing. Whites, they do get a bit munted, as we'll see, but nothing like that. And they're much easier to work on in my opinion. Now I do plan on doing a full review to this car eventually. It may be in 9 months time. I plan on doing a few series of this getting built up, which again will come in its time. Could be in a month, could be in 9 months. So this came, as I said, EB to EA and ED. Long story short, there's different model options from a GLI, which is based on manual windows, you know, shit like that. Then there's the Futura, then the Futura Classic. They're not bad. They're all decent Falcons. Then they did the Fairmont. The Fairmont is its completely own line. No Falcon name is... They completely ditched the Falcon name and went for Fairmont. And this thing is mint. I love it. It's suede interior. That means suede door handles, suede seats, electric windows, automatic climate control. We'll get into the interior a bit more, but I much prefer how quiet and nice this interior is. Once you wait 30 years of depreciation, the difference between a Fairmont and a Falcon GLI is $1,000, and you're usually paying for how clean it is. I will admit, there's a Fairmont Gear, which is even nicer than this. They are bloody nice. They get Recaro seats as an option as well, and that's the one to do up. But for a daily like this, I think a Fairmont is a great happy medium. There is also the NC Fairlane. That's even larger than this. They got the wagon body and basically made it a sedan. And they are huge. And they're also pretty cheap. They weren't cheap brand new, but they're pretty cheap. But I just don't like the extra size. I don't mind how this is a big sedan, but it's not massive. Now you might be wondering, Max, why'd you buy this now and not in 9 months like you keep saying? It's because you just don't know with these cars what they're going to be worth in 9 months. We're living in absurd times. We could be heading into a recession. We could be heading these cars worth 7 grand. There was a time when VL Turbos, one of the most iconic Australian made cars, were $800. Now they're like 40 grand. So I just thought, you know what? I know the history to a degree of this car. It's already been manual swapped. It's white. Why not? Welcome to Australia, mate. Walking on that. So why I bought it? You might think $3,200, that's a lot of damn money considering it does look a bit rough, and you'd be right, but it comes with shit, and a lot of shit. Brakes and rotors, sorted. Like I said earlier, my mate owns the exact same car and he's doing it up. That means his calipers and shit like that he's upgrading, I'm sure he'll give me really cheap or for free, and I love that. On top of that, the little things it needs, it already comes with. It needs an AC belt, comes with that. Gaskets, you got it. I love that stuff. If all hell goes loose and this inline 6 blows up, you can get an Intec one from a later Falcon for like $700 if that. Chuck a turbo on it, you're looking at 300 kilowatts of the wheel. Another thing, like I said, I'm at my mate's house. He's offered to store this for me for a year or 9 months or till the end of the year. So again, I was like, you know what? I can just let it sit here for 9 months and not have to worry about it. Chuck it under a car cover, leave it in the garage. Bam, I've secured it. I don't have to stress that it's going to go up in value, down in value, whatever. I've bought it, it's mine, it's done. I don't need to hunt for cars, nothing. I can slowly do it up if I want over time, but it's secure and I have it here waiting for me. I will take us for a bit of a look around the outside and inside, but like I said earlier, inside is very fucking clean. It's suede interior and that shit really messes up early on. It's not the cleanest, like there is dirt, but as far as like damage is concerned, a quick steam clean, it'll come out great, I reckon. Same with all this car. The paint is actually decent. I reckon a quick polish and I'll be fine. Also these EBs, they're air-fire as well, so they're not that bad on fuel. I love the engines. I'm a huge fan of them. I think they sound great as well, and there's a huge aftermarket support for it. Also, I've always kind of loved Fords. My dad had one of these EBs when I was growing up. He also had a Mustang. I just love them. And I've always wanted to get into something a bit more luxurious, a bit more sporty, I guess you could say, even though it's not really. But for 3 grand, it's better than a 323 Mazda in my opinion. So as we can see, this is a Fairmont. It does get, that's a different rear end. The Falcons, they don't get this stuff here, and I really like the look of this, to be honest. Even the headlight, the tail lights, they just look cool to me. This spoiler, yeah, it's looking a bit tired, but that's an XR spoiler as well. So I really like stuff like that, and this car comes with all that. Again, featured on this Fairmont is this grey across the entire side of the car, which I really like. Stay tuned, I reckon I'm going to make this all red and clean the grey up to make it look even cleaner. Again, 15-inch alloy wheels, which is only seen on the Fairmont. And these ones have brand new tyres fitted onto them. And you know what? I reckon those alloys are in pretty damn good condition too. As we can see, the 4-litre badge. Now, if we take a look at the paint wall here, it is a bit chalky and it has seen better days, but there's no peeling. I don't even know if these cars had clear coat. And you know what? It's good enough. As we can see, there is a bit of roughness here, but that'll all get resprayed and it'll come out pretty good. So yeah, I reckon with a decent polish, this paint will come out alright. Like, it's actually, like, even on the roof, it's not that bad. Don't get me wrong, there is slight rust here and there across the entire car, but nothing that's bad. Like, for what it is, it's actually extremely clean. And I think if you look along the side, that's a damn straight car in my opinion. It's never been an accident. It looks extremely straight, and I quite like it. Now, it's not all good though. As we can see, once you get a bit closer, you start to see these little rust holes. These start from rock chips that don't get cleaned up, and then they rust. But the good thing is, it's all surface only, so it should come out with the detail fine. As we can see, it's just everywhere. But for what it is, again, this boot, straight as an arrow, front end looks clean as. Again, we can see it's not perfect, but for what that is, you know what? I need to respray a few parts of this car anyway, like the spoiler. Easy as to do, perfect car to learn on it. This part, this just sucks. This sucks a lot. This is the part of the car that brings it down, this quarter panel. Now, it's not as bad as it looks, this is just primer, but there is a fair bit of rust. But the person who's selling this to me, he's gonna fix that, and that's just gonna be completely fine, and I'll have to respray it myself. So I'll just respray that. Obviously this is all getting resprayed anyway, so I don't think that's the end of the world. Again, coming down the side, that's just a bit of dirt there, that's not a dent. I reckon it looks pretty damn straight, in my opinion. So yeah, even the roof, like, it's not bad. I reckon it's pretty clean. I reckon with a good polish, this will come out mint. So part of our deal was these headlights are from the XR6 model. That's the highest end Falcon, the sportiest end. They're going for Fairmont lights. I'll show you in a second what they look like. They're just in the boot, but they're going to be LED and they're going to look fine. But yeah, the front end here, just this part, is going to be slightly different. How about we go show you the motor? Opening up the bonnet. As we can see, the massive 4-litre inline 6. These comes with extractors. They do look a bit hay going, but I like it. They sound mint as well. Intake manifold on this side. It's super simple motor. Single overhead cam. This one is from the XR. The Fairmonts and XRs share the same one. So this is 150 to 160 kilowatts, somewhere in that ball range, and 400 newton meters of torque. And I'll tell you what, you bloody feel the torque in this car. That's the thing that really moves you. Doesn't leak a damn thing. It's just had the rocker cover done. And yeah, it's pretty basic, but for what it is, never overheats. I took it for a good test drive. Goes great, I love it. As you can see, it's EFI, full EFI. No EA bullshit where it's cross flow, carburetor, none of that. This is 992 and it's EFI and it sounds wicked. As I mentioned, this one is a manual and I fucking love manuals. I've always owned manuals. I learned a manual. Before I even drove cars, I was riding a manual motorcycle. I love manuals. Now that's nothing against autos in general. They're usually pretty good, pretty quick, but not in 1992. The autos are 4-speed autos, the gears are long as all shit, and they've got torque converters that are hectic as all shit as well. A manual, you chuck it in first, you pin your foot, you're gone. Now, I don't have much experience with autos and the torque converters, but when I do, I don't love them. I just love a manual. I love blimping throttles. I love heel-toe downshifts. You're not going to get much of this in this car. It's not that type of car. But I just love a good manual Australian car. Especially in a big car like this. I think it sounds wicked. And I reckon it makes cars feel a bit quicker as well. Could be in my head, might not be, but I love it. This manual, like I said earlier, is a T5. Moderately notorious for exploding. And I own a WRX as well, which also bullets box. So hopefully I don't, maybe a bit of a learning curve, but that's alright. This one's from an EA as well, the earlier model. So its first, second and third are very short gears. And mixed with that LSD, let's just say if you're on private roads, it can really light up these tyres. Even though the first and third are short, the fourth is perfect for suburban driving, and fifth is absolutely mint at any speed. You do 120 kilometers an hour, you're sitting below 2,000 RPM. That's exactly what I'm missing with the cars I drive today. My 323, my current daily, I'm sitting at 4,000 RPM at 120 k's an hour. On private roads, of course. That's actually another reason I bought this car, because it's manual, like I've said about 20 times. But none of these are ever manual. So this one's already been converted, and it's already got a new clutch. So it's just more money I don't have to stress about. And it also makes it a bit more rarer. So I don't know if people like the fact that it's matching whatever. I prefer a manual. And you know what, if that increases the value, even better. But at $3,000, not a lot is increasing the value of this car at this point. And then the thing to start it, starts instantly. Instantly. Dead smooth idle. Loves it. Obviously manual. Beautiful interior. We'll get more into that in a second. So quiet in here. It's just grass. Like I said, fully automatic climate control. Looks great. What a beautiful H cluster. Darker now. It's about 8:30 PM in Melbourne at this point. And bloody hell, do I freaking love these headlights and the look of this car at night. I just think it looks beautiful. This rear end, like I said earlier, is only on the fairmonts. I just can't get enough of it. Oh. In the Fairmont. Now, I do love the look of the outside of it, but bloody hell, is this inside ahead of its time in my opinion. Man, you can really just get comfy. Like, you do sit a bit high, but I'm 5'9", there's plenty of room. The seats are fully adjustable, of course. I'm a bit of a whore for lumbar support, not gonna lie. You can get your hands in a really comfortable position. And not only that, look at this. It's 1992, baby. My 2002 Mazda 323 doesn't even have this. I love this. You can really find a comfortable spot and just nail their kilometers out. And that's exactly what these big Falcons are made to do. It's suede everywhere. All of this is suede. It's just beautiful. Nice and leathery. I love it. I love it. It's what sold me this car. The Fairmont interiors are amazing. The EF and the EL, they're a later model. I hate the interior. For some reason, plastic, it's all this creamy shit color. I hate it. The AUs, even worse. For some reason, Ford had an oval fetish in the year 2000. Everything is an oval. Looks fair. This EB is perfect. It's simple, not overdone. It's mechanical where you want it to be mechanical and buttons, but then where you want it to be automatic, it's automatic. I love it. Super easy. I wish they still made cars like this today. I love that that lights up. Such a little thing, but I love it. How beautiful is this interior? Obviously, being a Fairmont, you get the footwell lamp. Turning on all the lights. I know I said earlier, but I love this. Oil pressure, fuel, rev gauge, you know, speedo, battery, coolant. Love it. Across here is your fully automatic climate control. Want to see the ambient temperature? It's bloody hot outside right now. If I turn it on, easy. Automatic if you want, off, no drama. Open this up, look at that. You can just cover it on. You have this is only in the Fairmonts and very, very top model Falcons. All it does is basically do your average litres per 100 kilometres an hour, range in your fuel tank, instant fuel economy. Beautiful. This would have been the LPG switch where you click it onto LPG. Obviously it's demister, some storage. I don't know what you're gonna put in there, just some space, and the vents. And another thing I love, these vents are grouse. Control them right here. Then down here, I love that there's two on this side. You can get one in your crotch area and one up the top. I don't know why more car makers don't do that. Fully electric mirrors in 1992 car. I love it. This is for headlights. And then obviously simple as this. Forward for high beams, indicators. You got your four ways there, and then basic, all you need. I love it. Just come down here, click this. That turns all these lights on. You got a footwell lamp. This central light turns on. How nice is that? And then you can just turn it off. Coming down here, you have this if you want to give the antenna a shot of Viagra. You got your central locking. Another beautiful thing, even in 1992. You have park brakes right here. Then on the other side, you open your boot with this, you feel, I love it. And then obviously your key switch. Look how basic this key is. This is getting angry because the lights are on. Down here, you got your manual gear knob and your window switches. Yep, window switches in the central console. Only Falcons and Commodores have I ever seen do that. And it's different. You go down for up. Up for down. How interesting is that? I love it. These speakers are amazing, even for today's standards. Very basic. It's all suede. It does need a clean, but it's still very, very alive. Beautiful. Just a grouse interior. Obviously it needs a radio, but we'll fit one of those, no drama. Just mint. I love it. Car makers, they make the back seats a lot shitter than the front. I know my WRX is like that anyways. In the back, same very soft suede material. Goes across the board. Don't mind this. It's just getting a new switch for the window regulator. But yeah, nice and soft. They don't cheap out. And there's plenty of room. That seat is all the way back for better, so I could see better for the review. Look how much space there is. And that's all the way back. Beautiful. Obviously you've got your speakers. Grouse. Just looking at the night, like, I love it. I can't get enough of it. Once there's a radio in it. I love these massive fairmonts. Look at all that room. That is huge. This is all the parts it came with. Here's the headlights as well for the Fairmont. They're just straight basic. You got your brakes, extra interior trim parts, just all around the joint. Oh yeah, idle control valve. Pretty sure there's a few gaskets back there and stuff. As far as mods are concerned as well, it is lowered on king springs, double SL king springs, and it has only 2 mufflers instead of 3, but don't worry, I'm going to be replacing that very soon. But other than that, all the work has been mainly just fixing the car up, making it run mechanically right, and yeah. Like I said, I bought an EV Fairmont. Now, I hope you guys see me in sooner than 9 months, but it might be 9 months. I got a lot of plans for this car. I plan on turboing it even one day, chucking an Intec at the very least. It's going to be a hell of a ride, and I bloody hope this YouTube channel grows enough, and we have a few people here to watch us. Till now, I've got 90 subscribers, that's it, but who knows what will be in 9 months. Keen to see it happen. How's this for a Fairmont?
Gear.
Yeah, gear, right? Soon to be a 400 kilowatt barrow swapped manual Fairmont.